Good evening, everyone. My name is Luis Perispedia. I am chair of the Historic Districts Commission in Concord. Welcome to the May 4th, 2023 meeting of the Town of Concord Historic Districts Commission. The Commission will review one continuance and 3 new applications this evening, and we will also conduct additional business at the end of the meeting. We're conducting this meeting online in accordance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. The public may access this call through both telephone and video conferencing. Members of the public will have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment on applications and discussions following the petitioner's presentation and questions from the Commission. To do so, please raise your hand in the participant function of the Zoom meeting platform. If you are calling in and cannot use the platform, you may raise your hand by dialing *9. Our host will mute microphones of those not speaking, and in order to preserve bandwidth, and may need to turn off video, with the exception of the commissioners, the host, and the current applicant. I will call on each commissioner for comments on an application, and then open the meeting for public comment. Once there are no more public comments, I will ask for a motion from the Commission to continue, to approve with conditions, or to reject. Second, and then conduct a roll call vote. Once the Commission has acted on an application, the applicant is free to leave the meeting. We will do a roll call of the members of the Commission. I understand Kate Chartner will not be here. Walter Clay?
Here.
Dennis Fiore?
Here.
William Hewitt?
Here.
Catherine Mast?
Here.
I understand that Melinda Shumway and Paul Ware will not be here, and Timothy Whitney.
Here.
All right. Voting members will be the 3 commission. Let's see how many. The 2 commissioners, the 2 full members that are present, which are Catherine Mast and myself. And the associate members that will be voting will be Dennis Fiore, Bill Hewitt, and Timothy Whitney. Then we will proceed to the first application, which is William Dickinson, 91 Main Street, Main Street Historic District, to install new signage. Is Mr. Dickinson here? Yeah, there seems to be there.
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome, Mr. Dickinson. If you could give us a brief presentation about what are you proposing to do?
We're proposing a sign on 91 Main Street, where we've been in this building in business for about 7 years, and figures about time to put up a sign. There was an open bracket, so we took advantage of it with the landlord. It's about a 3-foot by 3-foot sign, half-inch thick PVC with carved letters for Dickinson Architects, a raised double diamond icon, which is ours, on existing bracket that's hanging, which is similar to all the other ones in the building. The diamond form is from our logo, which is a double diamond, and I think it fits in well with the building and other signs that are on Main Street in Concord.
All right, then can you tell us about the material?
Yes, it's an 1.5-inch thick PVC sign panel that's painted semi-gloss white.
All right. And they are already, so the brackets are present there, so you are adapting the size of the sign to the brackets that are present, or do you have flexibility on the size of the sign?
We have some flexibility with the size of the sign. Brackets are currently there, and that seemed to be a good scale for the bracket, the building, and other building or signs in the vicinity. Similar in the, yeah.
No, and then this is just almost like a rhetorical question, because we're not asking anything. I'm just trying to set the precedents. if this commission were to advise about changes in the sign itself, in the contents of the sign, as long as it maintains your message to say so, would you be open to consider such thing? Not that we're asking that, I'm just asking the a hypothetical.
Hypothetically, yes. It's
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you very much. I'm gonna ask the commissioners to make comments. Tim Whitney?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the sign looks fine. One question I have is, does it hang down below that sort of, if we go back to the photograph, the image, does it hang down below that piece of trim to the right to the left of it?
the crown molding. No, it doesn't.
Okay. And I don't. The lettering looks a bit small for the white panel. That's just a, it doesn't look like it's quite filling up the white panel, but that's really my only comment. I'll pass to the next person.
Thank you very much, Tim. Catherine?
In essence, I think it's a fine sign. I think I'm trying to get used to the idea of a diamond shape, just in the context of all of the more conventional rectangular signs. I fully appreciate the shape of the sign echoing the logo form for Dickinson Architects. So I won't say I object to it, but it's more I'm sort of trying to process the newness of a diamond sign in this location. And otherwise, I think it's fine.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Bill Hewitt?
I had, excuse me, I had the same reaction Catherine did to the outline being a diamond, and whether a rectangular sign, say with a dark background where the white diamond is shown, but it's against a rectangular or on a rectangular sign, if that's more in keeping with traditional sign geometry.
Thanks very much, Bill. Dennis?
I like the sign. I like the idea that it's a triangle or diamond. I think it gives a little oomph to the area, and I have no problems with it at all.
Thank you very much. Walter?
Well, my first reaction is that it's very bright and white in comparison to everything, and maybe partly the tone of the photograph overall. But looking at the shape, I do have a suggestion, which is the shape of this is a single diamond, whereas the logo that you're presenting is a double diamond. What if, to break up the diamond like on it, that shape translated down so that the point, which is pointing over to the 3'0" and the corresponding side that's facing the street, what if they were notched out so that that overall sign, while still being a single piece in a single color, represented the shape of the outline of the double diamond up above? You could have essentially a single diamond, but you could have it cut, notched on those two sides so that it looked even more like the logo and like the double diamond.
Yeah, interesting suggestion. Thank you.
And the Save Our Heritage behind that is also, double notched. So it might resonate a little bit better with that even. But that's my thought. And of course, I'm not a big fan of PVC for signage, but I understand the practicalities.
Thank you very much, Walter. The comments that I have are that I think that the color white is sort of a very garish, but I realize that it's probably a function of the photograph itself. So I don't think that that's a problem. My impression is that the geometric figure itself, it's like a big imposition on the whole facade. So I was thinking along the lines of Walter in terms of trying to soften that a little bit. And I thought that perhaps if you were to have a color edge, it would create a vision that it's a little more consistent with the other signs that are there. On the other hand, I really have no particular objections against this particular design. I think that the design as it stands, it's good, and that it will fit well within the facade. But there are some tiny little things that could be tweaked, and I believe that they would make it even better. Well, I'm going to ask for any public comments. Are there public comments about this application? Well, if there are no public comments, I will ask for a motion from the commission.
So before taking a motion, is it out of line to ask our applicant if perhaps he would like to revisit the shape just a little bit in light of suggestions? I understand that interesting suggestion may not be the same as an endorsement, but I would give you the opportunity if you thought that it might.
Well, let me put this in practical terms. We worked with Crosby Design and came up with a couple designs, and decided to go with two. One is a diamond design, one's a rectangular design. We really both, my wife and myself, were partners in this business and really like the look of the diamond design, but we're okay with a rectangular design and would prefer the diamond design. What I don't want to have happen is I have to reapply and come back a couple months later with a rectangular design if you vote down the diamond design. So I'm not sure what the practical or the right procedure is here. I guess I'd like to maybe have an informal vote in the diamond design, and if it doesn't get passed, to come back with a rectangular design. I may have submitted that, and that may be in the paperwork. If Haley has our
Walter, were you just saying the design, the diamond design stays, but the notch idea that you had that others endorse is what you're looking for, not a rectangular sign?
Yeah, I don't think a rectangular sign, there's any particular reason to have a rectangle rather than a diamond in terms of the mass and the overall shape. I'm intrigued, like the sound of my own voice maybe, but I'm intrigued by the idea of incorporating that double diamond by notching there and breaking up the the oneness, the uniformity of the diamond, given the opportunity to have something that at least I would think might be just visually a little bit more interesting for an architect.
When we say rectangular, you mean square, right? Oriented vertically rather than diamond shape. Is that what you mean when you say rectangular?
A rectangular meaning slightly wider than taller. It's a different.
Okay.
The lining signs up. I mean, we really do prefer the diamond, and I think the simplicity of the diamond. I know the graphics that Crosby produced for this does make the sign really pop out and seem harsh because of the starkness of it. But if you're standing there in reality, there's so much going on in the different materials in the building, the color, the sky, that there's and you look up and down the main street, and it's almost anything goes with the signs. There isn't a diamond one though. That is true.
Well, let me see if I can sort of put some references on the discussion. I think that from what I heard from the commissioners, I don't believe that any of them are opposed to the design as it stands. You see, I think that there have been some comments that suggest that there will be some options to to make it even better. You see, I don't think that they have said that it's bad or anything like that. So if any of those options resonate with you and you believe that that you would like to explore them, then you are free to ask for a continuance, which we'll be happy to grant. From a technical standpoint, this continuance will be a continuance for 2 more weeks to our next meeting, which I believe it's May 21. No, May 18th, sorry. So again, these are the practicalities that we're referring to. But I don't believe that I have heard from any member of the commission any type of opposition that will prevent this application for going forward. On the other hand, so if you think that the suggestions that have been put forward are interesting, then you may want to ask for a continuance, and we'll be happy to grant it. Otherwise, we'll ask for a vote and we'll proceed.
And frankly, another possibility, rather than physically notching that sign, would be just to paint out the square in a darker color and read as being less diamond shaped, but wouldn't have to be altered and would allow for the possibility of doing it either way.
No, I do appreciate all the thoughtful suggestions, but I would like, we've put a lot of thought into this design and with Crosby Design, and we would like to move forward with the diamond design as presented.
Okay, well, the applicant, it's very clear, and therefore I'm going to close the discussion. I'm going to ask the commission for a vote. May I hear a motion?
I move that we accept the application for 91 Main Street for the sign as presented.
Second?
A second.
Okay, Timothy?
Aye.
Catherine?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Dennis?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. So congratulations. Thanks very much for your presentation. And we shall be looking forward to seeing the new sign.
Okay, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Will we
You're
be
almost
getting,
welcome.
will we be getting something that we can, an approval we can hand to the building department?
Yes, yes, you will be getting a certificate of approval within the next days or so. We will happen very quickly.
All right.
Okay.
Again, thank you for your time.
You are most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next application, it's Mark Scanlon, 24 Low Road, North Bridge, Monument Square Historic District, to replace and extend existing fencing. Mr. Scanlon here?
Yep, I am here. It shows up as Bennett. The
There
name
you
is-
are, Bennett.
I'm here.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us, what do you plan to do?
Yep, I think it's well, hopefully pretty straightforward. I think so I'll do it in 2 pieces. One is we have a front fence, yep, which is shown up on the screen there. So this is just in need of replacing just through wear and tear. So that's literally going to be replaced with the same wood, which is cedar woods, Chestnut Hill style, and color will be painted white as it is currently. The only difference at the front, if you look at the bottom 2 pictures that are on the screen right now, there's currently a gap there, which just presents a risk just from a safety point of view with kids and pets. And so our intent is just to extend that basically from the right-hand side of the screen, just to fill it out to come out. I think it's about, I've got the measurements here. I think it's about another 7 feet maybe. And then on that extended piece to include a gate as well on that piece as well. So that's the first piece, and then yeah, here you can see I think just some other illustrations of similar style with some of the, I guess, illustrative of what that double gate would look like. And then I guess let me pause and see if you want me to go into the back gate or whether you want to tackle the questions on the front fence.
Oh, why don't you make the whole presentation and we can discuss it in total.
Sure. So then on the then at the back gate, it's a similar story, but with a couple of differences. So the back gate we have currently is a double sort of double back gate, which takes up the entire sort of width, effectively like a driveway type width. And yeah, if you go, I think the next page, is it on there? No, I'm not sure if it's, maybe it's not on there. The back gate effectively needs, the issue with that, again, it's wear and tear, but it's more than wear and tear. It's actually, I think, just structurally, the current gate is too heavy for the post to which it's attached. And so with the result is that it's over the few years that we've been living in the house, that gate has now come down and is just structurally not sound. So instead of replacing it with the same double gate, our intent is effectively to replace a portion with a fence and then just a single gate, which again will be the same height as it currently is, which I think is 5 foot or 6 foot. And then one of the pictures that was just on the screen there was actually the immediate next door neighbor, where they have a gate and a fence, and the intent would be effectively to have this as an extension of that. So that's the neighbor's gate. So it would look somewhat similar to that. And our one, there's a little fence that comes off of that, and then our existing gate is next to that, and we'd replace that with a portion of fence and a gate that effectively looks similar to that. So hopefully that was clear. Let me stop there and see if it wasn't clear. I can add any detail.
Okay, very good. I think it was quite clear. So I'm gonna ask, discussion. Let's say, Walter.
It seems fine to me.
Brief and efficient statement.
In contrast.
Okay, so let's see if anybody can best Walter. Dennis.
I'm in tune with Walter.
Gosh, Bill.
I have no questions.
Catherine, you have 1 second to speak, no more.
I also think it's fine.
Tim.
Well, I do have questions. I'll make them brief.
Thank you very much.
I just want to understand, on the front part, there's a very small gate. There's your main gate. That's the entrance to right on the center of the house, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe there's a smaller gate, maybe to the right of that as you face the house. Is that going to disappear in the?
No, so there's currently only one gate. So you've actually.
Oh, that's just those are 2 posts.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think, yeah, exactly. And in fact, one of the things also, one of the benefits, I should say, is that current thing that looks like a small gate, I think, is an artifact of the previous fence being constructed in 2 pieces, sort of over time. And so one of the benefits of actually doing this is that won't look like that anymore. It'll be a lot more sort of uniform across.
Right.
So you won't have this oddity. So that is all fence. Yeah. So that'll actually, from my perspective at least, will look a lot neater when we replace it. Okay.
And my other question just is on the side return fence where you're extending and putting the double gate. Does that double gate?
Mm-hmm.
Is that double gate closer to the house, or does it cover that whole dimension? How much of that return is double gate?
It will be. I think it'll be a 6 feet in total. So it'll be like a double gates are like 3. I think it'll be, if I've got this right, 3 feet and 3 feet. So if the yellow pieces, you can see how much the extension is. And if you go actually to the other diagram, I can hopefully make this clear. So if you look, so if you go to page 3 there, so you can see there's a brick path. Yeah. So the gate will effectively line up with the path. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
understand. That's all I need to know. Thank you very much.
I think that this is fine. So I want to agree as well. So are there any public comments? Okay, there are no public comments. I'll ask the commission for a motion.
I move that we approve the application for 24 Lowell Road as presented.
A second?
Second.
Okay, so Dennis,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Catherine,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well. So congratulations. We look forward to see your new fence.
You know what? Thank you very much.
Welcome. All right, the next application, it's Marley Properties, Concord LLC, 91 Main Street in Main Street Historic District to install new signage. Who is here for Marley Properties?
So actually,
any
I'm the one
discussion?
who put in the application. This is Chris Oberg from Alpha Graphics. I'm not sure if the property owner is there or not.
We're not the property owner, but hi Chris, the sign applicants, I guess, are also here.
Okay, so who would like to present the project?
Chris, would you mind presenting it for us?
Nope, I don't mind at all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So as you can see in the mock-up in front of you, we're proposing to install the very top sign. It is made of the exact same material as the two below it. It's the same exact size as the two below it. It's the same material and size as the sign that was there, that was removed. The only thing that's different is the lettering on the sign. I'm not sure what else to present, to be honest with you.
In which sense to say that the lettering is different from the other signs?
Yes, from the previous sign. Yeah.
Okay. You mean the previous sign that was there, or the signs that are existing there?
I'm sorry, can you ask that again?
Are you making a contrast between the currently existing signs, or are you referencing a sign that existed there?
Might I clarify?
Sure.
There is no sign there currently. I think he just means that the font, we have a different font than the other two signs that are currently hanging, basically.
Okay.
Each sign has its own.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to get at. And I assume that the materials will be the same as the other signs that are hanging in there.
Correct. Yes.
Right. And I'm sure that you will have references to the size of the letterings and that sort of thing. And the letters are in black.
They are. Yes.
All of them.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna open the application for discussion. I'll ask Tim.
I thought I saw, is there some other sign, or is it just this 4.5 inch high sign we're talking about?
We're just looking for this sign. That's just old thinking on old designs, but we are not looking for any other sign, just this one.
Okay, I don't have any comments.
Thank you, Tim. Catherine.
I think in light of the fact that the two other signs each have a different font, that introducing, a third different font is fine. They're still staying uniform within a classic, white sign with black lettering. So I have no objections whatsoever.
Thanks very much, Catherine. Bill.
No comment.
Wow, Dennis.
I think it's fine. I share Catherine's comment that the difference is just fine.
Thank you, Walter.
I think it's exactly what that blank space needs.
What can I say? I'm speechless. I think it's fine too. So are there any public comments about the sign in 91 Main Street?
Luis, I'd just like to say something. The applicant had applied for two signs, a blade sign and this wall sign. And so before you vote, I just want you to keep in mind that the blade sign needs to be a partial withdrawal, because that is not going up on the bracket. The bracket's being used by Dixon Architects.
Okay, is this something that can be dealt with administratively, in the sense that can we proceed with a vote on this application with that caveat that that other sign is not part of this application?
Right, yeah, so I would not move to approve as presented. I would say move, I mean, someone else should make the motion, but certainly just focus on this one sign and have the other piece removed from the application.
Thank you very much, and thanks for that clarification, which I think obviously is very important. Well, now that we have all the information, I will ask the commission for a motion.
I move to approve the signage for a single wall-mounted sign for 91 Main Street with the provision that there was a partial withdrawal for a blade sign as well.
Second?
I'll second it.
All right, so Dennis,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Catherine,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well. So congratulations, and we'll be looking forward to see your sign.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Good luck.
everyone.
A wonderful evening.
Thank you. Okay, I'll ask our town planner whether there would be the hearing about a continued hearing about 428 Lower Road. I don't know if they were in contact with the commission. As you remember, there was an abrupt end to the presentation in our previous meeting about replacing or reconstructing a stone wall. Do we have any news, Anne?
No, there's no news. I reached out to them immediately after the meeting, and Haley reached out to them recently, and we haven't heard. But I was just remembering that the motion at the last meeting was that it would be continued for 2 more meetings through May 18th, so they could have another opportunity to present again, or you can make your own decision as to whether you want to continue the continuance or take a vote.
All right. So keep in mind that we made ourselves decisions and we took a vote on continuing the application for 2 meetings. Then this is the first of those 2 meetings, so I will ask for a motion that we continue the application. Unless the commission doesn't want to proceed that way.
I'll move we continue it.
Seconds?
Second.
So Tim,
Aye.
Catherine,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Dennis,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well. All right, and so we should let officially know to the applicant that his application has been continued to the next meeting of May 21st, and that if they don't show up, then that's the end of the story, I guess.
Louise, sorry, one minor correction. You had said May 21st. You meant May 18th,
Yeah.
correct?
May 18th. See, I keep saying 21st. I don't know why. It's something.
It's because
happened
it's
on
my
May
daughter's
21st.
graduation from college, Luis, and you know this.
Exactly.
Oh,
I didn't
important
want to. I didn't want to tell you that I knew all about it.
We're honoring it, yes.
And I wanted to honor it, but they wouldn't let me because it was. All right. So we now go to other business, and we have a certificate amendment for Concord Academy, 166, 176 Main Street Historic District, for changes to the north elevations of 220 Main Street and the Heights Cottage. The reason that we are presenting this is because we wanted to the whole commission to hear what the changes are of the application that was previously approved, and give the opportunity to the whole commission to either proceed administratively or request the applicant to make a formal application that includes the modification. So Mr. Kingman is here, as I can see.
Hello, everybody. Don Kingman from Concord Academy, 166 Main Street. And joined with me is Courtney Borelli from PSK Architects. And the building we're talking about, just to give context, is we're moving 2 buildings on a campus, Ides Cottage and 220 Main Street, and this pertains mostly to 220 Main Street. And we have a couple of modifications we'd like to make. As we started anticipating moving this building forward, we have an individual that lives on campus with her family who has a wheel-bound son, and we wanted to create increased accessibility for them. And so we're looking for a slight addition to a bump out that we have on 220 to accommodate a handicap accessible bathroom. Courtney, I'm going to let you walk the commission through the changes that we're proposing.
Sure. I am going to share my screen if that is possible.
Yes.
So this is from the previous application that we went through with you guys that was approved. And so what we're talking about is really in this section of the campus, highlighted in blue here. What we have is 220, the one that Don was just referencing, and Ides. Those are the 2 buildings that we're moving, and 238. These are the 3 that are kind of in play right now for this change. And so what we have on 220 is this bump out here is the one that Don's referencing that's getting a little bit bigger. And so previously in our last application, it was 5 by 12, this bump out. And we are increasing it to around 9.5 by 16 in this location. And you can see with that, we just had some slight modifications as well to some of the pathways in order to accommodate this bump out. So this here was in the original submission, which is the house stands today. This is 220 Main Street before it is moving. In the submission, this is how it would look with this bump out right here, as well as this window. And what you can see here is we are removing this small window up top just to simplify this facade. And this is the bump out that's getting a little bit bigger. I think the important thing to note here is this bump out, just going back to the plan, is Main Street is on the bottom of this plan and the river is on the top of this plan. And this bump out is right here kind of, so you can see it more east-west on this plan. That is that location. And just for context, this was the old submission and the new one. And so you can see here again, that's the change to that window, this bump out. This is the side elevation of that bump out, which just removes a window that was located on this facade. And this is the rear of that bump out that adds a window to the back of it. This is Ides in the original submission. This is how it looks today. This is how it's going to look now. The only change that we are doing right now to Ides is replacing the clapboards in kind and painting it the same color. Before we were going to try to keep those clapboards. And there'll be a little bit of trim replacement as needed. As you can see, we've got some spots that really need to be replaced, and they'll be replaced in kind and repainted the same color. So there's no change to that, just that we have new clapboards in this case. Okay. And the last building, 238, we are making one small change to that. This is the way it stands today. This is the original submission. And what we're just taking away a side light on a front door on this one. And so this is how you saw it in the original submission. No changes to the back from the original submission, and just that we are taking out one side light on this door. And that is all the changes we are requesting.
Well, thank you very much. I'll ask the commission for comments. Let's start with Walter.
And Luis, could I add
Yes.
that one more comment?
Sure.
One other change that wasn't mentioned was just the move of the condenser and the electrical panel to the elevation which faces the river. So that was a change that I thought you might just want to look over.
That's right. That's something that. Is there a projection that shows the transformer in the position that it will be? I mean, one of those composed photographs as we saw before.
Right, so here's that elevation that's changed. In the approved drawings, the condenser was, I think, here. So it wouldn't be nearly as visible from the river.
Okay.
So just wanted you to know.
All right, well, thanks very much for the clarification. So let's have some comments. Walter.
So just following up on that. So at this point, the condenser is more visible or less visible from the river?
It would be more visible from the river.
Okay, but less visible from another view, which is not necessarily a public way. Okay, and why is the bathroom window changing position? Just curious.
The bathroom on the bump out?
Yeah.
It is simply the way that the the bump out previously never accommodated a bathroom, so now it does.
Mhm.
So let me, I'm gonna share my screen again just to clarify, because it might be a little bit easier.
The bump out had storage.
Yeah.
Storage?
Yeah, it looks like Don froze there, so I'll pick up where you left off. So the
Yeah.
bump out previously had a small mechanical room and storage.
Mhm.
And what is there was two adjacent windows to that previous bump
Right.
out. On the new one where we are accommodating, what we've done, we've taken that mechanical room and moved it to the front, and then the bathroom exists right here. And so with the increased size of that bump out, it takes out those two other windows that were previously there.
So the bathroom is not taking up the full space of the bump out.
Correct, that's correct. And the accessible shower that we have actually sits right here, which is why there is no window on this side.
Yes, I was just curious.
Yep.
Okay, and it's not affecting any property lines or anything by changing its size, so.
It is not. So this is the property line is here,
Mhm.
and this is the location of the bump
Right,
out.
so it's all internal. Okay.
Correct.
Well, I don't have a long history with the project, being a fairly new commissioner, but I have no argument.
Thank you very much, Walter. Dennis.
I actually think the all of it is rather an improvement. I like the proportions on 220 with the larger bump out rather than a little tiny one stuck off on the side. So I think it actually looks better. And with the window removed at the top, which was sort of weird, I think it's a much better presentation than original. And I have no questions about the other changes.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Bill.
I share Dennis's view. No questions.
Catherine.
I agree. I think all the proposed changes, both practically and aesthetically, are improvements generally. Just a question, I'm assuming the Ides Cottage clapboard is going to be wood?
Yes.
Clapboard? It's not a vinyl or anything like that.
No.
Okay. And my only other, and I think, for example, the removal of the skylight, switching to just the single door is definitely an improvement on that other building. Are there going to be provisions or any kind of landscaping to screen somewhat the condenser unit, however, with that move? I just was curious about that.
We have landscaping as part of this plan. I can't tell you specifically around that condenser, but we're working to try to shield this both from the neighbors and from the public way, and also how we use the campus internally.
Okay. Those are all my questions.
Thank you, Catherine. Tim.
Yeah, I agree with previous comments as well. I think if anything, some of these moves are improvements.
I have no comments. Likewise, I think that these are improvements, and I echo Dennis's comment that the proportions are, I think, better now that the bump out is bigger. I'm not going to ask for public comments because this is an administrative decision that we're making, and I will ask all members of the commission to vote on this again, because it's not an application but an administrative decision. What we're voting on is whether these changes should be approved administratively. So I would like to I would welcome a motion from the commission in that regard.
I'll move that we approve the amendments administratively.
Second,
I'll
Yep.
second.
okay. Tim,
Aye.
Catherine,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Dennis,
Aye.
Walter,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well. So there you have it. We'll send you a letter reflecting that there have been some changes that have been approved by the whole commission. And you should be able to go ahead.
Thank you very much for your support and time.
Thank you.
Well, welcome. I just wanted to also let Mr. Kingman know that recent changes in the rules and regulations have established the HTC Hall of Fame, which the person with most applications to the commission in the past several years gets that reward. And it involves getting a diploma, but the recipient is supposed to offer a very large dinner.
The recipient's expense.
The recipient to express his gratitude is supposed to offer in a
I just
fine
took the
restaurant
ethics test.
nearby.
I can't do that.
Oh,
But
it
I'm
shouldn't-
sorry. Well, scratch that from the record, please. It was, I
it
was thinking
shouldn't
of
be
another
a
commission.
diploma. It shouldn't be a
We're-
diploma, it should be a certificate, right?
We
No,
really
it's,
appreciate the partnership that we have with you folks and the rest of the town. We feel like you're integral to the town and the town is integral to us, and we need to be good partners, and hopefully we exhibit that.
Well,
Thank you.
you certainly do, and we are most welcome to work with the Concord Academy. And it's something that has been a positive experience for most of us through all the years that we've been here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night. Well, other business now comes to approval of minutes. And I did read them all, and I only found one error in one of them, which was the absence of an apostrophe.
Good.
And that will be corrected.
And of course, I sent a very long 3-page letter to Haley explaining the use of apostrophes. I also included the article in the New Yorker by this other guy from Saturday Night Live, where he doesn't use periods because he ran out of them, and Steve Martin, he has an article where he doesn't use a single period until the very end because it's the last one he has.
Right.
There's a very famous book out of Newburyport that was written by Lord Timothy Dexter, who's a character from the late 1700s. But he put no punctuation in his entire book that was called A Pickle for the Knowing Ones. But the last 10 pages or so of the book were all punctuation marks with the instructions that the reader should sprinkle them where he feels they're appropriate.
Oh, that's great. Brilliant.
All right, so if nobody has any objections, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes from 12:15, 2:2, and 2:23
As amended.
as amended.
It's apostrophized.
May I have a motion?
What are the dates again, please?
12:15, 2:2, and 2:23.
I approve the reviewed minutes as shown for the dates of 12:15, 2:2, and 2:23.
You move to approve.
I move to approve them, yes.
Second?
Second.
A second to that motion?
Second to-
Mayor, second. Good, thanks. So Walter,
Aye.
Dennis,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Catherine,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well. All right, so that's what it is. We finish.
Can I ask a guidance question?
Yes, please.
I didn't want to slow down the Concord Academy thing, but for our purposes, is the river considered a public way?
Very much so.
Yes.
It is. It
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
If you can get into, it's a public way in the sense that you can go canoeing in the in the river, and then you can see
Swimming, you
everything.
can swim.
Everything you see from the river, it's a public way.
Got it. Thank you.
Mhm.
I want to give, go ahead, Tim, thank you.
I just want to say that for those who know Victor Borga, he does a routine on verbalizing punctuation marks. If you've never heard it, you have to hear it. It's the most brilliant.
I
That's
have heard
true.
that. It's really funny.
That's true.
It's good.
I want to give a little bit of an update to the commission. As you know, we have been working for a number of months now to change some of the rules and regulations so we can be more flexible in appointing members and changing the affiliation of all of the members within nominating entities. We have done a lot of progress on that. We have been working with the HTC liaison, Henry Dane. And currently, there are very specific proposals that have been vetted by attorneys, meaning that they have a chance of being able to be adopted. And that in the next week or so, as soon as possible, and Clifford and I will have meetings with the planning board, with the Commission for Natural Resources, and with Select Board to explain specifically what are the changes that we want to make. After we have that, those meetings, you will all receive a very detailed description of what's going on. And in essence, what we're trying to do is make changes to the rules and regulations, which is different from the enabling legislation. If we want to make changes to the enabling legislation, then we have to go to Beacon Hill, and it has to be approved by town meeting. But the changes that we want to make can be approved by a simple majority vote of the commission, and that's what we're trying to pursue. But you will have a great deal of detail on that, and please feel free to approach either Anne or myself if you have any observations or any additions that you want to make. The second issue that I wanted to mention is that we have not forgotten that the manual given to newly appointed commissions is stale, to say the least. And I'm trying to make a narrative or an index of all the issues that we want to address. And I think that Bill volunteered for that. And I just want to let everybody know, and Bill specifically, that the issue is very much a hot issue and that it will be addressed shortly. And of course, all the commissioners will be asked to participate and give their opinions. So if there are no other things to discuss, then I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Luis, one question.
Yes, please.
Speaking of hot issues, where does 615 Lowell Road stand at this point?
We have to ask our fearless town planner because I have had no official communication from anybody on the subject.
No.
Except to say some time ago that we shared that the select board had decided to contest the litigation or to engage in litigation.
Right, we have no further updates. I asked at the staff meeting yesterday, and people above me did not have updates either.
So what does no updates mean? Are they suing us, not suing us? Nothing, no action, just sitting there?
Well, my understanding is that the land court has a backlog of about 3.5 years. So this will be heard by the court in about 3 years or so.
Okay, so the lawsuit is moving forward.
Yeah, the lawsuit, it's active, it's moving forward. And, some of the issues that we will discuss when I mentioned the changes that are being proposed, address some of those issues in the sense of what should be the position of the HTC vis-a-vis an applicant that is suing the commission. In the
Good.
past, we have simply said that we won't consider anything, but we have done it as a decision on our own. And there's a proposition to make this part of the law.
Thank you.
So if there's nothing else, then I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll move, we adjourn.
All at once.
If there are any objections, I will have a, I don't know. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good. Well, thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.